Welcome back to another Sunday video, everybody. What is up, my realists? It's Stephen, and welcome back to another Sunday video. I hope y'all are doing great. I just wanted to take this time before the start of my video to remind y'all of the initiative I'm doing. As many of you know, I canceled my video last Thursday in support of Black Lives Matter. And I pledge that for the entire month of June, all of my AdSense revenue will go to Black Lives Matter and other organizations. If you want to help, just watch any of my videos except for the When You're Obsessed videos because those are copyrighted because of music. And just don't skip the ads and anything. And you can also make a donation yourself. Go ahead and go to blacklivesmatter.com or any of the websites I listed in my post before. So yeah, that's all I had for the pre-video announcement. Let's move on with the video. Before we get to that, I just want to say if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and comment down below. Also, don't forget to follow me on all my social media platforms. That's Stephen Flores for Facebook, at Stephen J. Flores for Twitter, and at Stephen Flores_IRL for Instagram. And as always, if you like this video and want to see more videos like this video, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell for me, will ya? So yeah, without further ado, let's move on with the video. I got the idea for this video as I was listening to the Prom. If you guys don't know what the Prom is, I made a react video about it. It's a musical that I think appeared like 2 years ago, I think, or a year ago, something like that. And it's so good, and I don't understand why there's like literally no hype for this show. And I mean, like, there's gonna be a movie coming out supposedly this year, so I hope it gets like the recognition it deserves. But like, nobody seems to know about it at all, and the songs are great. I think they dismiss it because it's about a prom, but really, it's like really good. So yeah, that's when I got the idea to make this video, which recounts the musicals that I think are like severely underrated. So let's begin! We're gonna start with the musical I just mentioned, The Prom. If you haven't listened to it, please listen to it. It's so good. The song Dance With You just like shoots an arrow through my heart every single time. The plot is really unique. It's really relevant. It tackles, you know, like homophobia and about like how you should accept yourself and express yourself whatever way you want. It's a really good show, and I really hope the movie still comes out this year. Ryan Murphy's supposed to make a Netflix movie like about the prom, and I really hope it pushes through because this is just so good. I really don't get why it's not hyped enough. I mean, it was nominated for Best Musical and a bunch of other awards, so you know, it's not bad, it's pretty good. And like I said, Dance With You is probably one of my favorite like love songs from musicals like ever. Next up, we have a show that I feel like is underrated, mostly because it's never in the conversation about like what the best musicals are of all time. Although I feel like a lot of people like this show, so I don't know if it's still considered underrated, but it's just that like some of them like either don't know this or haven't listened to it, and I don't get why. And the movie version also didn't do that well box office wise, which is kind of sad. And that's The Last 5 Years. As you guys may know, I'm a huge Last 5 Years fan, and the story is so simple and the idea is so unique that I don't get why more people aren't talking about this show. I mean, it gets mentioned every once in a while, but like it's not in the same vein as like other shows, like not even close. Like, admit it, have any of you even actually seen The Last 5 Years live? I saw it once live, so I can say that, but like I don't think a lot of people have actually seen this live. At least that's what I think, because like, it's barely been on New York. I don't think it's ever been on Broadway. If ever, it was just off Broadway. I just feel like it's severely underhyped. Like, every song on that thing is so good, and it deserves all like the recognition and the hype and all that, but it's just like there are some people that still have no idea what it is, and I can't figure out why, because it's so good. Next up is You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. I don't know if this is a popular show or not. I'm pretty sure like a lot of high schools do it because like it's easy to do, but I saw this live and it's so good. Happiness is such a good song. Whenever I'm sad, I just like play Happiness and I just feel so much better. I mean, it's in the name, it's in the title. And come on, like, to believe this was on Broadway and like it had Kristen Chenoweth and Roger Bart in it, I mean, that's like saying something. Kristen Chenoweth won a Tony for this, so that just shows you like how like amazing this show is. Her song there, I think it's called like My New Philosophy, is like so funny. Every time I listen to it, I just laugh so hard. I think the show proves that you can have a really funny musical and not have a single sexual reference or like anything like that in it. Like, it was all like child humor, but it was so funny. Like, it was smart child humor. And yeah, just nobody really talks about it. And like I said, Happiness is one of my favorite like theater songs of all time, and I just feel like it deserves more hype than it gets. Next up is Sister Act. How I wish I saw this on Broadway. I saw it finally like 2 or 3 years ago. Like, there was a replica production that came to Manila, and it's so funny. I don't know if it's funny because I'm Catholic and like I can identify with a lot of the jokes and stuff, but even like setting that aside, the songs are so good. If y'all ever saw the performance of Patina Miller and the entire cast in the Tonys for Raise Your Voice, Oh my god, that was so good. Like, that song just crescendos and crescendos and crescendos till it explodes. And I don't get why people don't talk about it more. It's really good. I don't know if it's just also, I don't know also if it's just because I'm a fan of like the original movie. Like, I love the original movie. Whoopi Goldberg will forever be one of my queens. Let me just say that. And yeah, this show deserves a lot more hype than it gets. Like, I really don't understand why like nobody seems to talk about this show like anywhere. Like, I don't see any like people who are like stands for it, if you know what I mean. Not like Dear Evan Hansen or Hamilton or any of those other shows, but like it deserves the same level of hype. It's so funny, and the thing is, I feel like it could have been like a big frontrunner for Best Musical if it did not open the same year as Book of Mormon. Next up, we have a show from Stephen Sondheim, and it's not one of the shows you think about at first when you think of Sondheim, but it's Company. I saw Company for the first time last year in September, and it's so funny. Not only is it so funny, but there are themes that are like so heartwarming. And I remember the ending song about how he didn't want someone to like take care of him until he realized that that's exactly what he wanted, and that he's really just so lonely. But he thought this whole time that he wasn't ready, but he realized that he really wanted someone to like be with for the rest of his life. That's a really good song. I remember it got used in Marriage Story, and suddenly like a lot of people knew about it, but nobody knew that it came from Company for some reason. Also, it's worth noting that Company had what was the fastest song of musical theater ever until Guns and Ships came along. I saw that number like live, and I don't know how the actress was like able to memorize all of it and say it like so fluently and like not get lost. I forgot what the name of the song is, but like yeah, it's just so like, it was so good. And of course, Ladies Who Lunch will always be a classic no matter what anybody else says. Next up is something that I think was not popular that much, at least, until Deaf West Theater did it and they put it on Broadway. Spring Awakening. Again, I could be completely wrong and so many people like Spring Awakening. It's just that among the people I know, and like I see all your comments asking like me to like react to certain musicals, and nobody ever says Spring Awakening, and I don't get why. It's so good. It's basically a whole musical about why there should be sex education in every single country, and what happens when you try to like push unrealistic expectations about sex onto like kids who have like no idea what they're doing. It's also about like a coming of age story, but it's a really dark coming of age story, and it has really good songs in it, like Totally Effed and The Bitch of Living. Those are like really good songs. And yeah, it's just so good, and I don't get why it doesn't get as much hype, because like it's a really good show. I saw it for the first time I think last year, around this time last year, and yeah, it just blew me away. And like the ending, the surprise ending, oh my god, I had no idea it was gonna go the way it went. And yeah, you can never go wrong with Jonathan Groff and Lea Michele. I mean, they were both the stars of this originally, and that's awesome. Next up is A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. I saw this on Broadway, and it won Best Musical in Fair. Like, it's a really good show, but the thing was, it never really gets talked about anymore, and I don't understand why, because it was really funny, and the songs were really good, and the performances on Broadway were great. That was the second to the funniest show I've ever seen after Avenue Q, and maybe third after Book of Mormon too, but it was so good and so funny, but I never hear anybody talking about it. I don't know if I'm biased because I saw it on Broadway, and I saw like I saw Jefferson Mays do it. Yeah, it's just so good. Like, I don't understand like why it doesn't get any hype, because like it deserves like a lot more than it's getting. Literally nobody like ever comments on my channel about it. Like, never. Like, I have not like seen it once. Finally, the last musical I want to mention, because it's so good, and again, it won Best Musical, but nobody really talks about it, even though it's so funny. Literally one of the funniest shows also, and like the staging I saw was so like interactive and stuff, and I don't know if it was also interactive when it was on Broadway, but like the songs are like really funny, and the way people, and like the way the actors like act out all of these like characters, it's so crazy and it's so funny, and it's really just such a fun show. It's Spamalot. I don't know if y'all heard of Monty Python's Spamalot on Broadway, but it is so good and it's so funny. It's about this like medieval quest for the Holy Grail, if I remember, and like literally they injected as much humor as they could into every single line and every single song, and it's just so well written, and it was so well acted and well directed, at least the production I saw, that I can see why it won Best Musical, but for some reason, again, nobody talks about it, even though it's amazing. And I would totally recommend anybody to not only see it, but if you want to have like a really fun, kind of wholesome production that your like community theater wants to do, Spamalot. And yes, those are all my choices for the most underrated musicals that I know. What are some musicals that you think are underrated? I want to hear about them. Comment them down below. And yes, I will see you all on Thursday for our next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to click subscribe button, like button down there. My last videos are to my left and to my right. And down in the description are my social media stuff. Like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Until next time, guys. See ya!